Hi Flosstube, it's Elisa with E Crafting in Colorado. Today is April 29th, 2022, and this is going to be Flosstube number 10. Woo! Number 10. Can't believe we've been doing this for this long. I feel like a newbie still, but well, I am. I haven't had a 1-year anniversary, but anyway, thank you for joining me today. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you're interested in cross stitch, I hope you stay and like and subscribe. And if you're not interested in cross stitch, hey, you might find something that you're interested in. So appreciate you joining me today. I wanted to start today's video with some administrative stuff at the beginning. In Flosstube number 9, we did a little kind of a game on and voted on some words that some of my viewers had thought up on when we get a little cranky and we can't stitch. Some of the words that you might say. So like you might get hangry when you're angry but you're hungry, that kind of thing. So I didn't share this with you guys, but I was going to give a prize for the one who won the most votes, and surprise, we actually had 2 who won. So they both suggested the word stanky, so they're stitch cranky, and I think that's a great one. One person even voted on it and said, well, I use stanky for other reasons, but hey, because you can use it for stitching too. But we have 2 winners today, and I think that's great because what's great is I know both of these ladies, and so the first one is Annette with Annette's Needles. She and I have been chatting back and forth. She's on Instagram and on YouTube. She has a Flosstube, and I don't even remember how we met, but I think we have a mutual friend, and that's possibly how we met. But so Annette, congratulations. Thank you for suggesting stanky. And the other one who won is Jessie Rember. Now Jessie and I actually met in person a few months, I think it was last year, at our one and only Colorado meetup for our local area for stitchers. And she was really sweet, and she had brought her daughter. So congratulations to you also, Jessie. Your prize will be a $20 gift card to 123 Stitch or to another online store or designer of your choice, where I can send you that electronically. So thank you, ladies, for playing. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought it was kind of fun with our stanky stitching. Anyway, all right, just a little bit of a life update here. I didn't get to stitch for, it was almost a week, so 6 days. My month kind of got away from me. We had a lot going on personally, and then I was asked to basically coordinate a wedding for some friends of ours, and that turned out really nice. It was a lot more work than what I had anticipated, but we're just happy for this couple. Yeah, they're an older couple. She'd been in a difficult relationship, marriage before, and this is his second marriage as well. His wife, unfortunately, previous wife, unfortunately died a year ago of lung cancer, and he's just the kindest man. And when they met, sparks flew. Well, they've known each other. In fact, his new wife knew his former wife. And it's just nice to see that out of difficult situations, ones can be happy. So we're just we're just beaming with joy for these two. You know, you got to look at the good with the bad. So, but anyway, did that, and when that was over, I just kind of crashed. I took the day off, the day off after the wedding, and I stayed in bed until 2 in the afternoon. I was pooped, totally pooped, but it was worth it. So, all right, so going into cross stitch, I worked on 6 projects this month, and so we're gonna start with my focus piece, like we always do. It's Birds in Bloom by Amy Stewart, which is a heaven and earth design, and this is what the project will look like. And here is what it looks like now. Let me step back even further to get this all in here. So we are now at 78.5% complete. So finish that last column section going down, and I gridded this next section, and I decided rather than starting from the top, we're going to work from the bottom up. And the reason why is because this is so confetti heavy. I was just kind of in that confetti mood, I guess you could say, just knowing I had to get into it and get her done, so to speak. And so as I go up, then I'll get a break from that confetti once we get back up in the sky. But if you look at this here, once we get to this here, this will also be quite a bit of confetti. There is one final bird up in there. So yeah, so, and let me show you so you can see. I've got the printout right here, just to kind of give you a reference. So we are right down in here. I'm under this, I think that's is that a cardinal? So under this, and then I'll finally get a little break, and then all of this, that last section there is also going to be a lot of confetti. So yeah, so that's where we are with Birds in Bloom for the month of April. 78.5% complete. So, all right, the next project I worked on, and I only worked on this one night. It was an evening where I wanted to work on something, but I was just tired, and I didn't want to really think about it. So I pulled this out. This is a dimensions kit, and I think it's just called Poppy. But this is a needlepoint. And I usually stitch this when we are traveling across the country by car, because it's just easy to do. And these are good when you don't have the mental capacity to count and stitch. You can just kind of follow the colors. So yeah, I just worked on this one night, so I thought I'd pull this out and show you. So that's where we are with Poppy. Next project that I worked on is called Mini Evening by Leonid Afremov, and it's also a HAED. And this is what the project will look like when it's done. And here's where the project is now. So if you see, I just kind of went, I just kind of took one color and I went all over the place with that one color. I like doing that in a section. it makes the project and the stitching go pretty quick, and I can get quite a bit done in a short amount of time. So yeah, these colors are really pretty. I am currently at 18.15% on this, and this is being stitched on 18 count Aida 3/1 10th stitch. So that's that one. All right, let me get my little paper. I took this off my Q-snap. This is my Spring into Mill Hill. Where did I put my little thingy? I got junk everywhere, guys. I should be cleaning my house, and instead I'm doing Flosstube. All right. I worked on the Spring into Mill Hill, which is a stitch along with Miss T and Stitches, Cat Talks, and Calico Daisy. And this is what my project will look like. It's this buttons and beads Mill Hill project called Honeybee. And all of this yellow in here on the bee and some of the pink red on this is it's beads, and I haven't done beads before, so I've watched a few videos to try to prepare myself on how to do that. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And I did take this off my Q-snap, so it looks a little funny. Oops, my needle minder is getting attached to something here. And this is what it will look like. Here we go. Okay, I do have it right side up. So all of these little honeycombs, like this color right in here, it was kind of difficult to stitch this because the colors, you can kind of see it right in here too. The colors are so similar to this paper canvas thing, and so I had a little bit of a difficulty with that. And then the other thing that I wasn't even paying attention, this is a paper chart, and with paper charts I personally will take a yellow highlighter and highlight the next stitches that I want to stitch. Well, I highlighted a bunch of the areas that needed beads, and so then I'm like, well, that's not gonna work. So then I had to always be cognizant of the right highlighted symbols that I was looking at. So I should just make another copy of the pattern and start over, but I really have enjoyed this for the most part. Yeah, I really have enjoyed this. And yeah, so Spring into Mill Hill Honeybee. So this has been good. All right, next project that I worked on here is called Mini Puppy by, I didn't write this down, Lindy Nielsen, I believe. If that's wrong, I will put that down below here. Lindy Nielsen. And this is what the project will look like when it's done. And here's where we are now. And you're gonna laugh. I showed this to you guys upside down last month, so I'm kind of crazy here. So, pardon me. Last month, I think I had just basically like these two columns here, and I really wanted to start to get into the diagonal stitching, so I kind of worked my way up, because all of this is going to remain blank. So that's why I dyed this fabric, because all of this is going to show and the rest of it will be basically full coverage. So I kind of just work my way up because there's little strands here and there like the puppy's hair, like a whisper type of thing. So we're almost to the top of his head, and then I was trying to work down in the diagonal, and I'm just not sure that diagonal stitching is for me. So I usually like to do cross country, but I think in this project I will probably be doing columns, vertical columns. So yeah, this project is 3.94% done. This fabric was 18 count Aida, but with the dye and the washing it, because it's really soft now, I think it's shrunk to 20 count. So like I said, yeah, so we'll get there. I'm just gonna stitch over all these little hanging threads. I just was being lazy and didn't tuck those under. So yeah, that's where we're at on this one. And the last project that I worked on, this is a stitch along that I'm doing with the Stitching Field. She is on Instagram as well as on Flosstube. And this was a free pattern on the HAED site. And I looked yesterday and it's gone. Because you could have bought it and it's now gone. This is what the project will look like when it's done. And this piece is a beast. It's so big, so that's why I just kept it in the Q-snap. This is where we're at now. So I tried to do that diagonal on here and it just wasn't working for me. I think I could do it, but in Pattern Keeper you had the lines going, the diagonal lines going here, and then I had my normal grid lines, but then these darker colors, you know, in Pattern Keeper it usually shows what the colors are, and we've kind of talked about this in another one of my videos, but in these dark blues you can't tell which, on Pattern Keeper you can't tell one color of blue from another color of blue. It's just all one mass color, and it's kind of throwing me off a bit. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start doing these in columns. And I was just watching, she's somebody I found recently called MD Design on Flosstube, and she does hers in 20 by 20 squares and then does it on a diagonal, because I don't want those column lines. That's something that I really worry about, is those column lines. So I'm thinking of doing that so I can kind of go a little rogue and just, and this project is not really confetti heavy at all. It's nice big blocks of color, but it's massive. It is one of my biggest HAED projects. Let's see, on this one I've got a spreadsheet behind you guys here. This is 275,625 stitches, and yeah, we're only at 1.1%, so I got a little ways to go. So that's one thing that's nice about some of these larger HAED projects. It lets you test and try out different ways of stitching. You get the same ultimate end result. It's, do you like diagonal stitching? Do you like cross country? Do you like doing it in columns or by those little squares? You know, it's your preference. Do you not like gridding at all? You know, I see a lot of people who do that, and good for you. I've said before, I am not that bright. I need all the help I can get. So yeah, that's one thing I like about these HAEDs. Shoot, and on Birds in Bloom, I started just with the columns, just trying to, and we see how that went, because that's not going anywhere. So those are the 6 projects that I worked on for mid-April through, or mid-March through April. My plans for May is I am going to do Mania, but I am going to do a monogamous Mania with a twist. So, and that twist is, and this might sound totally stupid, when you're in a monogamous relationship, say your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, you're with them and you don't look outside. However, you might have kids in your family that you might need to take care of once in a while, or most of the time, right? You got little ones so Birds in Bloom is going to be my focus. That's my husband, you know? He's my main concern. But I might have my little niece, my nephew, my grandniece. My nephew might call up and say, Lisa, I need you to watch the baby for me. Sure, I'll do that. I love watching the baby. Or my sister might call, hey, can you watch Little E? That's his, we call him Little E because I'm Big E. Can you watch Little E for me? Yeah, I'll be happy to. So, my plans are Birds in Bloom, gonna do that. I'm gonna have 2 small work on here and there just to kind of break up the monotony of one project. And so that the first one, which you've already seen, is Birds in Bloom, hoping that maybe I can get this done, this project. Okay, if not, because this is a spring piece, and that was my choice. I want to start working on these seasonal projects, so I'm hoping to get maybe this done in the month of May. Or my other project that I haven't shown in a long time because I haven't really worked on it is this artiste project called Earth Laughs and Flowers. And so I will be working on that one, which this is currently on my, is it Kay's Creation stand? And that's where I am on this one for now. So I might finish, I'm hoping to finish one or both of those. With Birds in Bloom, I am hoping, because I'm a little behind on my monthly stitches for the year, so that I can finish that. I'd like to finish it by November. That's really what the goal is to finish it by November. I'm hoping to get 10,000 stitches in on that piece next month. So that's my goal, my plans for Mania for next month. So, all right, moving into haul. I watched this one Flosstuber and she cracks me up. Her name is Romantic Tangle, and she's a thrifty type of stitcher like myself, and she's like, hey, Hobby Lobby's having their clearances, blah. So this is the day before that wedding. I went to one Hobby Lobby, there's no clearance over there, so I ran to another one, like I had time to shopping for cross stitch day before a wedding. But hey, so I did find some things. And I don't know if I will ever use these or not. I'm going to try on little projects. But they had these little 32 count Murano. I don't know what this, is it Care? So they had the gray checkered and a beige checkered and this little flowered. This one looks like was painted on, these little flowers. So these were $1.49. and this one is called Fleur. And yeah, so I'm gonna try these, and if not, I'm out just a couple of bucks. So I bought that. And then another thing I got here is, I think I have mentioned to y'all that my husband is a car guy, huge car guy. We won't say how many that he has, but we're now at this many. We've lost a few. He sold a few. But anyway, pet peeve. Let's not go there. Last summer, he bought a 1956 Chevy pickup, and it looks like this. So I thought this, because I had originally bought that RDC Ford Mustang project for him, and I was thinking that might be good. Our 20-year anniversary is coming up this summer. That might be good for him. Well, that's not gonna happen. An RDC full coverage, that's not happening. Maybe I can stitch this little pickup truck for him. Not putting the farm fresh, not putting Austin, Texas, and definitely not putting the chicken. Just doing the little truck with stuff in the back. But yeah, the little truck is that color blue even too. So just, yeah, it'll be fun. I might change the fabric out on that, but so got that. And then a few floss tubes ago, I had said at one point in time that I wanted to try one of those stamped cross stitch, but I wanted one that was from a legitimate company. Well, Hobby Lobby actually has a few, and they had one on clearance. So I picked this up. It's from Needle Art World. No count cross stitch with color printed background. And this one is, oh, Pink Dahlia. So I like the dahlia. The dahlia is fine. This gray, it looks like somebody took a bunch of coal on that fabric and just scribbled it on. That's ugly. I'm sorry if you like it. I don't care for it. I personally do not care for it. So I'm gonna try something, and I'd like your opinion on this. And I've kind of tested this out. So to start, I've had this book, and this book is really awesome if you ever are interested. It's called Dynamic Cross Stitch from Leisure Arts, and it shows you how to paint your cross stitch. Let me find, or how to paint your fabric with dye. And so you are able to get it to whatever. So, and it's got how many? It's got 10 designs in this book. So actual so see here, it shows that like that, which that would be so fun. But it actually has, see the patterns in there. No, that one I don't like so much, but see this with the purples and the blues and the, it's pretty. So, and here I like this one too a lot. That's really pretty. But I've had this book for a while, and I've been into mixed media as well, and that's what this says on here, is that it's mixed media cross stitch. So you've got a little painting in with the actual cross stitch as well. So I did a test, and I'm gonna try to paint my fabric. Okay, the only problem, so here's what this piece looks like. Okay, here you go. I've done a couple of tests with, now this here, this real dark purple right there, and the dark green, that was from I took, what are these called? Watercolor crayons, and I'll show you them here in a second. And so here, let me just show you. So these are old Stampin' Up! Watercolor crayons. I've had these things for years and I have never used them. So they look like a regular child's crayon. And I just have this little plastic thing. I just scribbled in this little plastic thing and I took a water to it and I painted on this here. So let's see. Down here you can kind of see, so it's kind of those same colors like what was in that book, and that's really more in what I'm looking for, because the colors of this dahlia, look at these, are pretty colors. I'm not really a huge pink person, but this gray, that is just darn ugly. It just is ugly. So I came in here to test it out just lightly, and it kind of did it kind of I didn't want to take too much away from that stamped area, because when you wash it, that color is supposed to go away. So what I am thinking of doing is, because if I paint this first and then wash it, you can kind of see how it's run a little. So I was thinking of stitching the majority of this first, and then like any of the yellow or just the outline of the design itself, leave it, because it did come with the actual pattern as well. So I know what colors to stitch that, and so leave it from a distance, stitch most of this just to kind of test it out, see how I like a stamped kit. And this will be great for on the road, because this is 11 count, so you know that's a lot of stitching that I can do on the road. And then when I'm about done with this piece and I have that outside left to do, I won't stitch that. I will come in and wash this and then just have that blank area left to stitch. But before I stitch it, I'm thinking of then coming in with the watercolor, or I've seen it with acrylic paint watered down, where you can go in and try to cover that over. I'm not too sure I want to do it with dye, because it would possibly, if it bleeds, it would dye that. If it bleeds too far, it would dye the stitched area. So let me know what your thoughts are on this. I am nowhere near ready to start this. I just thought it would be a fun experiment to do. And that little thing, it was only $5. So, you know, I've talked about making things your own. This is definitely one. I'm not going to start that anytime soon, but hey, just something fun to try, right? So, doing mixed media on watercolor, and I looked up on YouTube, and there are a lot of embroiderers who have painted their fabric and then come back, and one of the gals who did it, she painted like little buildings and did the sky and some, maybe a grassy area, and then she came over that with the floss, and it was pretty cool. So just looking outside the box, because we don't always have to do what they tell us to. All right, I want to thank my special, special friend, Jemima, the Rocking Stitcher. Yesterday, well, she, on her last video, she mentioned that they're thinking of doing an Amy Stewart stitch along. So instead of just a specific pattern of Amy Stewart's, because she has so many, how about doing a stitch along with that designer? And Birds in Bloom is from that designer. So I have several of hers on my wish list, and I know many of you love her bookshelves patterns. But Jemima had posted that this piece, oh, and I didn't even, here, while I'm talking, I'll get it, I'll find it. Jemima had said, oh yeah, I'm thinking of doing this project, and it's a brand new one that Michelle from HAED released. So she and I were messaging each other. It was early in the morning for me, and she goes, did you buy that pattern yet? And I said, no, you know, today's the last day of the sale. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not. And then it was radio silence from Jemima. She goes, sends me a note, check your email. My sweet friend Jemima. Guess what? She got me this pattern called Love Letters Chocolate Shop. And we're gonna do this together as part of that Amy Stewart stitch along. And when I read that, I just burst into tears, because Jemima, you have no idea what your friendship means to me. And I don't get a lot of gifts. I like to give more than I receive, and so this really means a lot to me that you gave this to me. And when we stitch this, I will be thinking of you, my sweet friend. So, but I have to tell you, this piece, it's massive. This thing, I got a spreadsheet here behind you. It is 375,000 stitches. I told you that peacock daisy was my biggest. Sorry, this thing is 100,000 stitches more. Jemima, you're killing me. You're dragging me down. So I am excited about starting that. And then, you know, you got that little buying bug. Oh, well, there's a few more hours left at the HAED sale, because this was last night then. Yeah, guess what? I bought another one. And it's just as big. I don't think I printed it. Did I print this? No, I didn't, because I haven't downloaded it yet. It's called, and I'll put a picture right here. It's called Ye Old Craft Room. That one is only 343,000 stitches, and it's by Ciro Marchetti. So it's really cool. Like, I can only imagine a craft room like that. So yeah, so thank you, Jemima. But I also want to tell you that you all need to stop this enabling, because I'm coming after you. With all your cool projects, you gotta stop, because I keep buying stuff. So I have this spreadsheet behind you guys here, and I am in finance. I do finances for my job, and I ran a little quick calculation on the HAED and full coverage projects that I either have or I'm stitching. There are 30 projects. 2 of these I do not currently own. So 28, but I'm counting these other 2 because I will be buying them. at some point in time. So my calculations for these is, if I was to work on these projects, only just these, the ones that I own, and 2 more, if I was to work on these 6,000 stitches a month, guess how long it will take me to finish these? 50 years! 50 years it will take me to finish these cotton pickets. So, you guys, this doesn't include my kits. It doesn't include my patterns. These are just my full coverage pieces. 50 years. I'm gonna be on my deathbed. Oh, one more stitch. I need one more stitch. You guys, you guys, you crack me up. So, all right. And the last thing for today, I wanted to do one little shout out, and let me just say, her name is Jessica Stitches, and she's from Holland. Now, I do not understand most of what she says because I think she speaks Dutch. I think that's the language for Holland. But her projects, gorgeous. She's got she's working on this one, and all of her pieces are ones that are either in my wish list or I have stopped and I was like, whoa, I really like this. One is called Birdsong. Another one is called Magic Forest. And I think that one's either Cyril Marchetti or Amy Stewart. I can't remember. I'm probably wrong. But, so she's in the top right of a diagonal, and she came down to the little squirrel, and she's got most of the squirrel's little body right there, and she went and just did the little portrait, the outlining of the face. And so here is this diagonal line, and then this that squirrel and the leaves on that. They're really, really pretty, really pretty. So Jessica, I'll listen to her. I have to actually watch her, but you might hear a word go HAED or confetti, or you could tell that she's going like 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. You can kind of tell what she's saying, but please check her out. She's on Instagram and Flosstube, and even though I don't understand her, I really like her stuff. So yeah, so thank you, Jessica. I'm one of your #1 fans. So all right, guys, well that's all I had for today. Nothing exciting going on. I had to take the dog to the vet this morning, and he has anxiety being in the car, so he's conked out because I have to drug him to go to the vet. So he and I might take a little nap this afternoon. So anyway, thank you guys for spending the afternoon with me, and appreciate all of your likes and comments and the giggles that we have together. So hope you have a good day and you're staying safe. Bye, Flosstube. Bye-bye.